So I was walking down the road, and it was one of the roads that I run on fairly frequently, and I had my dog with me, and she was on a really long lead. It was like leads all joined onto other leads, so she was quite a long way from me. So I was trying to pinch like you do on a phone or a tablet to try and bring her in a bit closer. And then somebody was walking towards me wearing a black polo neck and black trousers and a light blue snorkel. And it was none other than ex-AFC Bournemouth manager Eddie Howe. Anyway, secretly, I knew that Eddie Howe walked down there because somebody had told me. So I said, "Hello, Eddie." And of course, he was quite surprised that I recognised him with all the snorkel on. And he said, "Don't worry, Andy, this isn't a massive pair of 3D specs." And then I woke up. I have some really bizarre dreams sometimes. But actually, that, for me, that was quite normal. I have some really thoroughly odd dreams at times. There's something wrong with me. So hello, welcome to a not running vlog, because I am not running at the moment. I had injured myself. I have to be honest and say that actually I'm feeling pretty good. I injured myself down around my foot area, and it's been pretty good actually the last few days. I'm walking very well. There's no pain, so I could have actually started running today, and I did think I might do that. But I'm not actually training for anything. I've not got anything coming up. So I decided to kind of let the healing process do most of the work. I spoke in last week's video about doing some exercises, and really, if I'm being honest, I haven't done a lot of that. I'm really just letting it kind of heal itself. But I must be honest as well, I found that I'm doing a lot of sitting down, not using my sit-stand desk, because I'm not running, not doing a lot of standing up. So I found actually that my back has been twinging a bit the last couple of days, and I think it's because, I've had a bit of sciatica in the past, and I think it just shows how moving, standing, walking, running, all of these things that you do does help to keep everything kind of working. So I'm quite keen to get on the other side of this and get back out there. And so next week's video, I hope, all being well, will be my first venturing out, my first run for, I don't know, a month or so. So really looking forward to that. I can't wait. But one thing, I'm going to keep this video short because the last couple have been really long. But I wanted to cover something all to do with the injury, really kind of finish it off, which is to do with, well, how did I actually do it? Because I was talking about how I was watching some rubbish on the telly, and there I was, and suddenly my foot started tingling, and it was like, oh goodness, I've injured myself. But I didn't actually talk about how I thought it might happen. And being honest, because I don't really know. I don't really know how I did it. You don't know if the injury doesn't happen immediately, if you don't, like, fall off something and kind of, ow, or, if it just comes on later on, which is what happened with me, then you don't really know. You don't really understand how it was that you did it. It could be several things, perhaps. So I've got some thoughts on what those may be, and that's what I'm going to talk about. But first of all, I just want to say thank you to everybody who sent me a comment to the question I posed last week in the video about why did you start running. I've had a ton of comments in already. At this point that I'm filming this, I haven't had much chance to read through those comments and respond to them, so I'll probably follow up on that in next week's video, certainly in a future video. So thank you for those comments. Keep them coming. Right, I'm going to walk down here. Let's just kind of walk, and then I'll tell you a few theories about how I think I might have picked up the injury. So when I run, because at the time of recording this, we are in the middle of an incident, a global pandemic. You might have noticed they've barely mentioned it on the news, but it is going on. You might have picked up the vibes. So when I'm out running, I think to myself, well, what I'll try and do, I'll try and kind of keep away from people. I mean, let's be honest, the chances of actually giving the lurgy to somebody or picking it up when you're outdoors is fairly slim. It's not, however, completely impossible. So I think that when you're kind of out, particularly when you're running and you're breathing a bit heavily maybe, I sort of think to myself that maybe the courteous thing to do would be to kind of run away from people, not literally run away, but, you know, run at a distance kind of. So I'm keeping away from the coast. I like to run along the cliff top and the beach area and the promenade, but I'm keeping well away from that at the moment. And the main reason being that there's lots and lots of people down there at the moment. It's really, really busy down there. So even though we're in a lockdown at the time I'm recording this, it's still busy. That's where people kind of, I'm not criticising them. You know, I live on the coast, so I head for the coast for my exercise, and so do lots of other people. So it is busy down there. So what I'm tending to do is to run kind of inland a bit like sort of around these sort of areas where it's, you know, not a lot of people about really. It's sort of inland a little bit. But you still occasionally do see people coming towards you. So what I tend to try and do is to kind of cross over the road. So if I can run on the opposite side of the road, and if there's people on both sides, it's quiet enough for me to perhaps run down the middle of the road. And I'm trying to kind of, you know, keeping away from people really. I think it's unlikely we're going to do anything to each other, but I just feel it's a kind of nice thing to do really. So you may feel differently, and I wouldn't criticise you for that, because, you know, we're not going to pick it up really outside, I don't think. However, when I kind of cross over the road or run into off the pavement, some of the areas where I run, you'll have like a pavement, like a little grass verge maybe, and then the road. And of course, running over the grass, it can be a bit uneven, and that's not great, because, you know, your foot could kind of go at a bit of a funny angle or something. So I might have picked up a little slight injury there, possibly. There was a particular incident on the run where I got this injury, where I was running across a T-junction, and I put my foot on the T-junction. In fact, I was about a third of the way across the road, and then a van came along, whizzed up, to come into the road, and I had to slam my kind of metaphorical brakes on in order to stop myself from just running straight into the side of his van. He, for some reason, was gesticulating wildly out of his window at me as if I'd done something wrong. Whereas, I don't want to get all nerdy on you, but the highway code, it was my right of way. I thought perhaps, he looked like a big bloke. I thought perhaps I wouldn't point that out to him. But I mean, he wasn't interested anyway. He just kind of like drove off. But I had to stop fairly hurriedly then. I mean, literally, I was running. I just had to stop. I was smack to the side of his van. And it could have been that, maybe. Also, and this is a bit of a schoolboy error, when I got home, I've been tending to do a bit of stretching outside. And on this particular occasion, I didn't. I went straight in, and it wasn't until I got in the shower that I thought, I didn't do my stretching. So I was there in a confined space trying to do a bit of stretching, which was really a stupid thing to do. So I don't know, maybe I did it then. I don't know. But it could be one of those things. It could be more than one, several of them. It might be none of those things at all. But I just thought at the time, well, you know, maybe something like that caused the problem. Maybe it was just going to happen anyway. Who knows? But there we are, you know, these things happen. But as I said, the pain is gone. It does look a little bit, it doesn't look quite healed. If I actually look at my ankle, it still looks a little bit swollen, even though it doesn't really feel, it doesn't feel tender. But as we're kind of in a world where nothing happens at the moment, we're going nowhere, doing nothing, I thought, well, I might as well just give myself a little bit longer to kind of naturally heal a little bit, and then hopefully, touch wood, when I get back out there for my runs, I'm less likely to suddenly go back to square one. That's what I'm hoping anyway. So that is the situation. That's where we are. That's how I think I might have done it, but I don't really know, to be honest. Right, so I just thought I'd make this a short video this week, because I had some, even though I've not been running and I've just been rabbiting, they have been a bit long, the videos recently. Some of you have put in the comments that you don't mind, and maybe that's just a sign that clearly we all need to get out more. But I thought I'd keep this one a little bit shorter this week. And anyway, as I said, I will comment on your comments to the very interesting feedback that I've had so far. The ones that I've read about why you started running have been really interesting. And I'm really looking forward to reading through the rest of your comments on that one. So we'll pick up on that again in a future video. Right, lots going on, so must get back. Thank you very much for watching. Keep all those comments coming, and I will see you, hopefully, for a running vlog next week.